Got something on your mind? Not particularly. I suppose you're going to nag me until I cough it up, aren't you? Nothing is private anymore, it looks like. There's no escaping it, I guess. So be it. My wife's name was Naga. She was the Yukatis enforcer who shot me out of the sky, if you remember. You got ears that work, don't you? I was a smuggler, way back. I got shot down once over Yukatis. That story, yes. My wife had plenty to do with the war. Upon meeting her, I knew right away that she was strong in the force. That's why she was able to shoot me down. Naga was a marvel of a woman. Fiery, determined, smart. She dragged me to the capital and foiled 3 of my attempts to escape prison. Oh, and that body. Well, yes, that. Needless to say, I eventually won her over. That was after I kidnapped her upon being broken out of the Yukatis prison, mind you. But, that's another story entirely. At any rate, I wanted to train her in the Jedi way. The Council refused my request, naturally. I was still a Padawan at the time. I was an experienced Padawan, surely, but not yet ready to be a full Jedi, and certainly not ready to train another, especially not one so old as my wife. I did. I wasn't the first, and I won't be the last. The problem with self-righteous folk is they think they're more right than everyone else. I believed in her and trained her in secret. I ignored her willful nature. I loved her too much to see fault in her. She loved me too. I know she did. At the time, our love was a shared bliss, better than anything I had known before or since. Exar Kun is what happened. Naga was inspired by Exar's promises of a new golden age. She wanted to join him. She came to me, pleading with me to throw aside what she called the decrepit trappings of the Jedi, to join her in Exar's war. I pleaded with her to reconsider, to think about all that she was throwing away, to think about what she would become. She would have none of it. Finally, in frustration, she attacked me. She drew her lightsaber and attempted to strike me down. It was a scene being repeated everywhere throughout the galaxy. Pupil against master. In my case, it was a long and terrible battle, but I defeated her. No, I had her at my mercy, disarmed and defenseless. She looked up at me and she knew I couldn't do it. But I should have. Sometimes I convince myself otherwise, but it's no use. She had fallen to the dark side when she raised her saber against me, and I let her go. To my shame, she went on to kill many Jedi during the war, until she herself was slain in the final battle. I grieved for her death, inevitable as it was, even as the Jedi Council put me on trial for my actions once the war was over. I had trained Naga against their wishes. I had failed to kill her when I had the chance, and she went on to kill others. Not to mention that I had remained a Padawan throughout the war. A formality, perhaps, but with the trial, it had to be decided if I was worthy to become a Jedi at all. It was a travesty, of course. I told you that even the Jedi were capable of great injustices, didn't I? Of course I deserved to be punished. They found me innocent anyway. Even though I deserved every punishment and more, they let me go. Mitigating circumstances, they said. I deserved compassion, they said. They said I had learned wisdom the hard way. For all I had done during the war, they wished to raise me to full Jedi status at long last. That was when the Jedi left me. That was when they failed me. For my pride? For my cowardice? Which do you think is the act more befitting a Jedi? They may have been able to forgive me. I could never forgive myself. Yes, I do, I suppose. Does that surprise you? It is all so long ago, lost in the winds, I suppose. Nobody cares what an old man believes anymore, do they? Let's continue on with the task at hand. I would prefer to think of the present today.
How may I be of assistance to you, Padawan? What is it you would like to speak to me about? Well, I mentioned before that my parents had fled to Taris. Perhaps I can tell you about that. In the early days of the Mandalorian War, there had been fighting closer to the Outer Rim worlds. Cathar was there, yes. My people had a great reputation as warriors, and that appealed to the Mandalore version of honor. They sought to test themselves against us, I think. Test themselves by bombing our world, slaughtering my people while they slept or while they ran. They swooped down from space across the world, firing at anything that moved. They used ships in space to destroy all orbital facilities and bombard the surface. We did resist, and in spite of their violent attack, we did stave them off for quite a while. But in the end, we were doomed. We were not members of the Republic. Cathar was beyond the edge of the Republic, in the Outer Rim. And besides, they could not have known. Our interstellar communications were the first things the Mandalores hit. All other short-range communicators were jammed. We were on our own. We knew what was coming. We had fought the Mandalorians in the first war against Exar Kun and the Sith. We knew there would be no mercy for us. The most we could do was pack the few of our people who survived onto what few ships there remained and send them off into space as fast as they could. Most did not make it. My parents carried me as a baby with them and were lucky enough to escape. They fled as far as they were able and eventually settled on Taris. They could stand running no further, I think. But Taris was a horrible choice. Dominated by humans, intolerant of other species, it made everyday life unnecessarily hard. My father turned to stimulants. He spent much of his time in local bars and dives. But we are warriors. It runs through our blood. And when he was on stims, he became foolish. He let his warrior nature get the best of him. So he would get intoxicated, and he would fight. And finally, one day, he would die. Killed by a man who provoked him into a fight and killed him like an animal. I am sorry. I cannot talk about this any longer right now.
What are you doing here? Go back to Uthar and tell him you are ready to take your final test. Our moment is at hand. Go.
So then, I take it you are ready to travel to the tomb of Naga Sadow. Your final test should not be delayed. Then we go now. Very well. We are now ready for your final test, young Sith. You have earned the right to see if you shall become one of us.
Indeed you have.
I dislike your tone, Uthara. What are you up to now?
Nothing, of course, my master. I was merely agreeing with you. Should we not get on with the test?
Yes. Yes, of course. We are in the sacred tomb of Naga Sadow, young one. The one discovered by Darth Malak and Darth Revan years ago. You are to follow in their footsteps and reach the ancient star map that lies deep within. There you will find a lightsaber, amongst other things. The lightsaber is for you, your initiation present. Return to us once you have it. For you, the test does not end there.
Be very cautious here. This tomb is like the others in this valley. and many of its old defenses remain active.
Do you understand what I have told you? Are you ready to begin? Good. Euthura and I will await your return.
Go and retrieve the lightsaber. There is nothing we can do for you until...
So, you return to us with the lightsaber in hand, as I knew you.
The Force has served you well.
You took a great risk in acquiring the artifact. You used your mind and your power. No peaceful meditation, no pacifism. Sometimes you must fight in order to achieve. This gives you your passion. This makes you stronger. This is what makes you superior. That is the lesson we teach with that part of the final test. Do you understand? If you came to the Academy, you must have felt the stirrings within you that cry out for the freedom of the dark side, that cry out for release. I can only show you the path that will lead to power and superiority. You have followed it this far. You must decide if you are capable of continuing. This is where your path ends, young one. There is no turning back once you have embarked on it. When a Jedi acts, it is with skill, true, but the Jedi teach you that your passions are counterproductive, that strength is only found in peace. Did you not feel a moment of excitement in the tomb? Did your passions not flow and make you feel stronger and more alive? What purpose would be served by restricting yourself from such? I would say only the purpose of the Jedi. Through this, they would control you and restrict your potential. Good. The last part of your test will now commence. Here, you will learn the lesson of competition. All life must compete in order to flourish. Such is the natural way of the universe. To stand still is to know death. One must always be moving forward. So it is the same amongst the Sith. Compete or die. Mercy is irrelevant. So it behooves you in this final test to strike down one you are familiar with, for no other reason than to prove you are superior and without mercy. Normally, this would be against another student. You, however, get a special treat. You will fight Euthura here, my own apprentice.
What? So this is what you had planned all along? You wish me killed?
Indeed. You have become too ambitious, Euthura. It is time for you to die, and someone more talented to take your place.
No. It is time for you to die, Master. My pupil stands with me.
Oh, is this true, young one? You wish to join Euthura in her foolish scheme?
Do you hear that, my master? That is the sound of a new leader rising to replace you.
So the time has come, has it? You both wish to stand against a Sith Master and perish, do you?
Uthar is finished, and a new order is brought to the Academy. Excellent. While I do like you, truly, I'm afraid I'm not the type to share power with anyone, even you. If only I could believe you. I yield. You are too strong for me. I was a fool to think otherwise. I am at yours. I suppose I am. Something tells me that you are not like the other students. I don't know why that is. I was right the first time back at the cantina, wasn't I? There is something different about you. More so than I even suspected. I see. I should have known, right from the beginning. But you are no longer the Dark Lord you once were, are you? You are Revan, and yet you are not. What I sense of your destiny is still unclear. So what happens now? Will you show me mercy? Will you just let me leave? That's tempting, but I don't think I could. Your path, it goes somewhere I can't follow. I suppose you could be right. All the things I wanted to do, all the wrongs I wanted to right, I haven't done any of them. They just get farther and farther from my mind. All I've cared about is power and myself. This isn't the person I was. You're right. Maybe what I needed most was peace after all. The Jedi tried to show me that. I don't know if I can ever go back to them, but my place isn't here. Thank you. Thank you for showing me that. You have a destiny, my friend, and I wish you well on your way to it. May the Force be with you.
Sorry, I can't talk. We have to excavate this valley with hand instruments. There's all kinds of old traps left behind that still work.